Money is for spending, but it's also for saving and investing, which is tomorrow. You can't just spend it all. And a lot of Americans live that way, I'm sad to say. Most people don't plan on failing, they fail on planning. That's your plan. The real meat and potatoes of this, though, is for you to become financially literate so you can have the financial security that you want in your life. And learning about money is going to be a big part of that for you. Here's a really nice thing about Money Camp. There's no grades. There's no homework. This is for you.
I was so happy to hear about My Money Camp. I have 2 teenagers, and I really want them to go out into the world with a solid understanding of money. The things that they will get to learn in 4 days will last them a lifetime.
Part I went because my parents really wanted me to go, but I feel as though I ended up getting a lot out of the experience. I went in not really expecting a ton of stuff, but having left it, I think that it was overall a very beneficial experience for me, and I learned a lot about financial literacy that I'm going to probably use later in my life.
Definitely going into it, I was like, I don't want to do this, don't want to be there. I was dreading going, but after it was fun. I mean, it wasn't that long, and they made it interesting. Like, it wasn't like I sat there and it was just like he was talking. Like, he was loud, he was interactive. Like, he made me want to be there. So it was fun. I'm glad I did it.
So you're going to pick a career today or 2, and we're going to go in and start breaking down how much income they provide. Where in the country are the most prevalent places where you can find those jobs? If you like what you do and you're good at it, the money will come. You got to find a marriage between those 2 things. Just some of you are going to have jobs in your life, they don't even exist yet. So when you think about how long you're going to need to work, you can't stop learning just because you're done with school. Please don't point your fingers at someone else's job and demean it if you think they got it too good. Go do it yourself. It's your choice. You tell me whose fault it is if you have a job and you don't like it. You picked it. Why would you interview for a job you don't want? You get one chance to live your life, people. There's no do-overs.
When I found out, I wasn't too sure about wanting to go, only because I wasn't sure what I was going to learn there, and I knew I was going to have to wake up early for it. I'm happy I did it because, honestly, I learned a lot from it, only because it taught me things that I never knew that I didn't know.
If I had $1 million.
So remember supply and demand? If a lot of people want to live in a city, there's more people that want to live there than there's housing available. What's going to happen to the price of housing? It's going to go way up. Here's a good analogy I want you to think of, that you're a military general, but your soldiers are dollars. You assign every one of your dollar bills a duty. These are their duties. Needs are exactly that, people. You need food, you need clothing, you need shelter, you need medical care. You do not need a cell phone. I could take all of yours and throw them away and say, I'm not giving it back to you, and you can't have a new one till next year when we come back and do Money Camp 2. Guess what? You would all be able to come back here. You would survive the school year. You'd be inconvenienced. You wouldn't have as much fun, but you don't need it.
I had already taken like a finance class in school, but he didn't touch on a lot of the things he touched on. I do think I can manage my money better now after the camp.
I did think that it would be useful, considering that we don't often get taught about financial literacy in school. It was explained as well, was something that I found very simple. It wasn't anything that was too difficult to comprehend either, so overall I had a great time.
Hey, are you taking a look at how many beans you have left in that's your budget, right? You're only limited, you're limited by that. Max is out of beans, and we haven't gotten to I wish they didn't put it here, but there's a reason they did. Because this is what the average American does today, folks. They spend their money, and then if there's any left over at the end, they'll try to save some. I'm telling you, in your mind, you need to put this one up at the top. Inflation has just hit food prices. All food categories now are 1 bean more expensive. So if you don't have any extra beans, you have to take one from somewhere else and put it into food. Because you need food. So maybe a concert has to go bye-bye now. Or that gym membership has to go bye-bye now. Do me a favor. Take your phone out and take a picture of your budget. In case your parents, a picture's worth 1,000 words. If your parents say, hey, tell me about how money camp went today.
It was something I had to do, but it was something that when we were doing it, I was glad that I did it. I think it was definitely a topic that we all need to learn about and something that I wish was taught in schools, but it was fun. I liked it. I think it's very important. I think everyone should take it.
Okay, good morning and welcome back to day 3. This is my favorite day of the money camp sessions because this is the day where we get to see, in my opinion, money miracles happen. Every time someone gives you a $10 bill, I want you to think about it like this. I can spend 9 of that on those categories. One of them is for the future me. When you get your first job and you're not married yet and don't have kids yet, that is the time to be a little bit like a miser, I call it. I call it my miser to millionaire strategy. You sacrifice a little bit. You have roommates. You drive cars that aren't new. You don't go out to eat every time you want. You sacrifice a little bit early. You can do it however you want. You just can't spend 100%, people. Or, you know what? I hope you like your jobs because you're going to be doing them a long time. If you put $10 in this Fidelity Index Mutual Fund today, you own a little bit of Apple stock and Microsoft and Nvidia and Amazon and Google. You become an investor. You own those companies, a little tiny piece. If you wait till you're 30, look how much less you have. You only waited 10 years longer, and you have half. So what does 8% get you on your 1,000? Every $1,000 you put away today, 40 years from now, is worth 20,000. I'm the only guy in the room that doesn't have a Snicker bar, but I'd like to buy one. And every one of you in the room is selling it. What do you think the price is going to be? You just want the extra credit. You don't care how much you sell it for. Am I going to pay more or less than what it's really worth? Less, because some of you are going to be willing to sell it to me for a nickel. 70% of people misuse the credit card tool. It's like, you're crazy, Mr. Kubinin. I'm spending 100% of my money all the time. And now I give you a credit card that lets you spend even more? Boy, that you might be one of the people that ought not get one. Take a look at what the credit card rates are on this. The clothing store is setting a trap for her. They don't want her to pay it off in full every month because they would like to charge her 19.8% finance charge on whatever the remaining balance is. How long will it take you to pay it off if all you do is make minimum payments every month until that 1,000 is paid off? 134 months is over. It's 11 years. So what you bought for $1,000 was really $2,688. They end up owing thousands of dollars in fees for a couple $100 short-term loan. If you can't afford the monthly payment in 48 months or less, then buy a cheaper car. It's not going to be good for your budget. Your interest on the house, because it was 30 years, is almost more than the house was. So what they do is they make your parents co-sign on the loan. So if you don't graduate and get a job and pay them back, your parents have to. I can't put my mom and dad in an economic situation because I'm going to go off to college and party and flunk out my freshman year.
So many kids today do not have a basic understanding of money, and we're setting them up for failure. No one wants their adult kids coming home because they couldn't afford the rent or the car payment.
I would say 100% take it, especially if you don't know a lot about finance or a lot about how to manage your money, or you want to learn about budgeting, or you're going into business, or literally for anything, even if it's just to learn 1 or 2 things, you will take something away from it.